I'm Cynthia Garrity. I'm the author and publisher of the Language Treasure Chest programs, which are Pieces of Eight and Nate the Pirate's Mate. And if we can open up a presentation here for you. And you are at the workshop entitled Discover a Treasure Chest of Hands-on Acquisition Activities. Okay, there we go. Of hands-on acquisition activities, a framework for effective ESL instruction. So these are my goals for the program as workshop today, but I'd first like to know, why are you here? What brings you here? What is it that you want to discover? Okay, great. I think that that's going to be covered here in this workshop. Well, I hope that you'll find something useful about it, and glad that you're sharing information with other people. Okay, well, great. Okay, well, I think we'll get to that too. I'm not sure that that's going to be covered, but I'll see if I can squeeze that part in. Okay, so what I first wanted to do is spend a little bit of time telling you what my programs are. And as I said, they're called Pieces of Eight and Nate the Pirate's Mate. These are a product of my years as a classroom teacher, ESL teacher in a pull-out situation. I also at the middle school taught English as a second language, and I supervised programs from kindergarten through 12 and had a lot of training and exposure to great teachers. And it's this is the best of the best of what I used and what I learned from other educators. And so I hope that you're going to find these ideas useful. I want to talk about what makes an effective ESL program, because no matter what materials, if it's not part of a comprehensive quality program, you're not going to see the results you want. And I know that that's what you as a expert teacher want. And if there's time, I hope to have enough time to do a little bit of make it, take it. If not, actually, the materials are out on the tables. I'm the kind of person that has to be doing 2 or 3 different things at the same time, so you're welcome to do that as well if that's how your brain works. So let's see. First of all, what I'd like to share with you is that I'm here talking about my ideas, but you are here, teacher, as the captain of your ship, and this is the captain of the ship in Nate the Pirate's Mate. And so you here are here, teacher, as the expert of your classroom. You have all of the training. You've got the materials. In a sense, you have your map. You know where it is you want to go. You know how it is you want, how to get there. But what I think is that what you're missing is your mate. This is Nate, the Pirate's Mate. Let me introduce you to him. He's there, and I'm here to bring your mate to you. You're the captain of your ship, and with your roadmap and my materials that I'm bringing you with you and your expertise that you already have, you have the way to get there. And so that's why I'm bringing you Language Treasure Chest, because it's full of lots of ideas and materials collected in one place for you to use as your own tools as you set sail on your journey to take your students to success in the 21st century. Pieces of Eight. The Pieces of Eight are chests, or books, if you will. There are 10 of them. They're 10 motivating themes. They're themes that are going to motivate your students, and they're ideas that I think are going to motivate you to keep on trying on your journey. And they're themes that are going to be used and needed by all students at school, about the family, clothing, the farm, occupations, and also food. And finally, transportation. That's not all of them, but those are included. there's many links across the curriculum. The themes themselves are links, but each theme, each chest has specific activities in it that are designed to integrate across the curriculum. So this happens to be from the chest about clothing. And what we see here is a windy day. The instruction sheets that go with each worksheet are here at the bottom, if you can see. And this instruction here says that students at the very beginning stages can use this instruction, and it can help you build up student confidence as you work to higher levels. So here, whenever you see words underlined, that's where you can substitute in a word. So on this instruction here, it says, it's a hot day. Well, the picture obviously is not a hot day. So it's a, what? It's a windy day, yeah, a cold day. And do we wear a swimsuit on a cold day? If yes, put the swimsuit on top of that picture. If not, put the swimsuit on the appropriate picture. Because what we know and what curriculum integration across the curriculum would tell us is that clothing protects us from weather, and there are appropriate clothes for different kinds of weather. That's a concept you would be teaching in your science or social studies unit. So there's one activity in each theme that is specifically designed, but there's so many other opportunities. You as the captain can make sure that that is included. The other thing is that this program makes sure that all 4 domains of language acquisition are included. And as you know, that is crucial. We're not just a conversation part of the curriculum. And so also a social studies integration here is that members of the family help each other. And so there's 2 different worksheets with the same instructions. These are designed so that to just remind you as the teacher some of the kinds of prompts that you would be using. And also if you have someone that's helping you, you can say, here, these start with the A questions, or start with the B questions. So this one says, see the mother with the baby bottle. Where is she? So this is a nonverbal response. We actually have 3 mothers. Where's the mother with the baby bottle? And where is she? She's here. And so students can, if they are ready to chime in verbally, they can. If not, they just point. And who is she helping? So this is going to be the beginning activities. The beginning prompts are to develop listening. And then as we move in from listening, we move to speaking. And here we can see that, again, there are some listenings available, but right away down here at number 3, we're going to do some speaking. And it tells us, there's a worksheet in the prompts. It tells us, let's play, I went to the market. And you can put the basket together, and then students are going to play the game. I went to the market and I bought an apple. The next student says, I went to the store and I bought an apple and some carrots. And then the next student has to remember and then say, I went to the market and I bought an apple, some carrots, and some strawberries. So we can have a lot of fun with this worksheet, give them real practice in speaking. Next, as I move into reading, there is one of the pieces of 8, it says pieces of 8-7, is integrating literature and literacy. And there is one classic piece of literature that has been suggested here, kind of like time-honored ones, and I'm sure that you know other books that could be pieces of literature that could be integrated, but this is from the clothing chest. And so it suggests that you might want to read Caps for Sale. I just love this. It's a story that has been read over and over again. And what we know then is that there are repetitive lines in there, the caps for sale. And students can have a lot of fun responding chorally when it comes to that line. And it becomes it's a experiencing reading by enjoying the literature, but easily you put it under your overhead projector and they can see the words there and start matching words if they're at the early stages of reading. There's reading skills that are suggested down here. For instance, cap, can, car, and cup all start with the same sound as cap, and caps for sale. And then also opportunities for rhyming words with cap, lap, map, nap, sap, tap. Another kind of reading activity is with the using one of the worksheets. They look at the picture and the students could dictate the sentence. The people are sailing in the boat. Teacher writes this on a sentence strip, you know, this kind of an activity, cuts the strips into separate words, get the students to reassemble it, put those slips in an envelope, and you've got they can come back up to the chart at an independent time. You can put this in a center. Lots of opportunities. It can become writing easily as well, right? But another reading activity, there's always a poem, and this happens to be from the home unit. Little Jack Horner is in the corner because apparently he's having a consequence for his actions. But lots of fun hearing the poem, the sounds in the poem. Kids love poems. I love poems. Expose students to the classic poems of the English language because they're all Mother Goose poems. But you know, why is he sitting in the corner? There's a lot of work that can be done with that. But it is reading then whenever you have this out, and they can, again, at a center time, at independent time, every morning, you can reread the poem. As we get into the next, last domain, we get into writing. There are several shape books in each unit. This is from the fruits and vegetables unit, and this was the Very Hungry Caterpillar that was read. And they can illustrate their favorite part of the story and write a sentence about it. They can talk about their favorite food. They can predict what food the caterpillar is going to read next. But they have a lot of fun. They'll have a lot of fun with these entertaining shape books. At pre-K and K level especially, we have some fine motor development activities that are there available if you run this kind of a classroom. So this one is saying that at stations, you would have some of the words written out that correlated to, this is modes of transportation, so you might have the word car or van written on a piece of paper in large letters. They have Play-Doh, rolled Play-Doh into a worm, and then shape the Play-Doh around the letters so that they can write with their own, write using the Play-Doh, sorry. There you can see there's also other things like float and sink, marshmallow vehicles, things to develop fine motor, which is leading up to writing. And finally, we want to be building academic success, right? There's a lot of ways you can do this, but some of the kinds of activities that I have available here for you to choose as a teacher, your captain of your ship, this activity has them sorting whether something is a farm animal or not a farm animal. And finally, the pig is also a farm animal, because as we know, speaking English is not enough. When I would do training for teachers that are preparing for EL students, I'd say, you know, look, even if we don't teach them ESL, by the time they get to high school, unless that's when they start, but our students that start at the very beginning and come from non-English backgrounds, by the time they drop out in 10th grade, they're going to be speaking English. That is not the issue. What we want to secure is academic success. But when they do an activity like this, it's not just vocabulary, right? They're learning academic skills like categorizing and using graphic organizers. And this is one of those, which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Graphic organizers and categorizing help them acquire the vocabulary, but using those skills develop academic skills that they're going to need for success in other areas. And so in another area might be math, and in the transportation unit, they can be making graphs to to display the number of cars or vehicles that they see on a neighborhood walk, or they can be colors of family cars that they have that the families have in the classroom. Why do I call it Pieces of 8? Well, that's because each theme, each book, each chest is one book and it's one theme. There is one activity for building vocabulary, one aimed at integration of social studies or science. There's one that is just a fun activity, and so that'd be something like the fruits and vegetables in the basket. It's cut and paste kinds of things. There are two on sequencing. It's two different verbs that work with the unit. There's a poetry, literature, and then finally a basic vocabulary words. And my recommendation here, and I don't know where you stand on this issue, a list of vocabulary to learn is not the goal. It's using some vocabulary that relates to the unit. We need to expose students to so many words that we can't come up with a list of words to learn to pass the level or to pass the theme. But these can be useful in sorting activities, lots of activities. So there's just a collection of words that you can use. So that is Pieces of 8. The other program is Nate the Pirate's Mate. It's the same themes. It can be used along with Pieces of 8, or it can be used with any program that that you can find a correlation to the themes from. And there are also some easy card games. There's some word cards that they can use with those. This one is probably more suitable not to pre-K and K. First grade can use it, but can be used all the way up through high school in special ed settings. It can be used up through the higher grades. Plus, at any age, it's appropriate for the beginning levels of acquisition. In fact, I was teaching for about 5 years at the Falls and at SCC, English as a Second Language, for students that couldn't yet be admitted to the academic program because they were just total beginners. Maybe they spoke some English because they saw English movies, but they had had no academic English at all. And I played these games even with college age students. So how does Nate the Mate work out? It starts out with a story about Nate and the theme. Nate is related to that theme, like Nate going to school, Nate going to the grocery store. So here we have things at school. And there is a read-along. This is to be folded up and make a nice little read-along book. They illustrate the story. They illustrate the sentences that are there, and it gives them some reading experience. There's board games and the things that you need to play the board game, whether it's a set of rules or a die. And there's also a set of vocabulary cards that can be used with the games, or they can be duplicated and you can play Go Fish and that kind of thing. As well as there are additional activities, and there are language patterns that would be appropriate for using with that unit. So I mean something like, if this is going to the store, it's like, I want some milk, I want a hamburger, I want to buy a cake. So it's language patterns that would fit with the cards and the theme. So that does finish us off on what my two programs are. And what I want to do is review with you what the characteristics are of providing a framework for an effective ESL program. And at this point, we're just going to stop. And I hope, end meeting. End meeting.